No. William Stamps, you're looking good. All's well there? Feeling, yes? Yeah. You know, we can argue and where we find ourselves as an action figure, but you know, arguing with how things are doesn't work really. So somehow, yeah. Yeah. It's amazing when the head starts yapping about certain situations, it usually omits the biggest fact. Yeah. Sort of like you did get run over by a car. And then it just goes off on if you hadn't gotten run over by a car, but it just sort of leapfrogs over the fact that you did get run over, which should make everything moot, so to speak. Yes. But it just goes off on its little magical mystery tour. And oh, you would be surfing professionally or whatever. But I did get run over by a car, seemingly. Yeah, so let's just stop that and move. Yes, yeah, just move from there. Yeah, 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 yeah. If you heard this message in the hearing of the message, it's had to produce effects that had no thought effort on your part. You know, that's one of the signs of it, really, is that when you get, see, to me, in recovery, you get to a pretty cool a place of pretty pure solution. Yeah. You don't start there because you're the problem in a way. So the problem makes the solution has to be cruder and more like tactile, like you can feel it. You know, you did something and then this happened. Yeah. But as you stay on that operating table in life and you're in the habit of being sober, the solution refines. It gets in a way almost purer, where it's clear that you're placed in a position of neutrality with no thought or effort on your part. It's like a miracle. Yeah, exactly. That's a description of an effect of a solution on an incredible level. Yeah, because it doesn't need your participation in it at all. It's bypassing you and it's affecting the experience. Yeah. Yeah. And so it goes, you will be reborn and all this stuff. And these are things that you didn't promote or bring about, but you observed. You came to know the tree by its fruits. Yeah. So, and non-duality, uh, you know, every person seems to carve out a path. Yes. So you're on a path of whatever. Yes. Uh, and there are a lot of people that are trying to look for a path to go to the light and stuff like that. But what non-duality, I feel, does, it illuminates all the paths. Yeah. It's not a path in and of itself, but it illuminates whatever path you're on. So in my case, recovery was the path that the action figure had to go on because the elephant was too big for whatever room I was in. It was just taking all the space up. So something had to be done. I got struck sober. And after years of sobriety, I got introduced to non-duality. And non-duality, maybe I expected only the most could be 50-watt bulb, and then it gave you a 500-watt bulb. Yeah. And it wasn't, it was not more seeing, but seeing more. You saw more. In other words, your view extended past your nose, and you could see things that were vague, or you were in a state of not knowing what was going on. You start seeing what you used to look from, literally. Yeah. That's the beauty of it. It just suggests that where you are in time and space may not be where you actually are in time and space. Maybe you're before time and space. And because you are, it triggers effects. Yes. It's sort of like you've made the bet every week for 80, you know, for 6 years, and you bought that ticket, and this one time you won the lottery. You had the right numbers. Well, you win that lottery. on and over again, because you've landed on a number that's solid and true. Yeah. Yeah. And so, and it will trigger a place like knowing before knowing. Yeah. So before trying to acquire knowledge, there's a knowing before that. Yes. It's it's that knowing may not have to turn into knowledge for you to know it. It may override the knowledge and there'll be a knowing. Yes. And then in in this event, which you can describe, this starting from 19, whenever you were born and you're going, yes. If you find a last answer in that span of time, it's a fucking incredible event, because most answers demand maintenance and more answers. Yeah. But this is the last answer, I feel, because I had the way of life already for the action figure. So the action figure got what it needed, which was a way of life, and a gift of surrendering and knowing what it was in its little sphere, and then being led to surrender. So the action figure was taken care of. It wasn't going to be burning houses down, going crazy and shit like that. Yeah, it got subdued, massively subdued, and then other things could get on with. Yes. Yes. So, but those chores were necessary, obviously, because I didn't hear non-duality first. In time, I heard it after recovery. So maybe I didn't have the ears to hear it, or I wouldn't have the ears to hear it unless that recovery occurred. Now, did the recovery produce anything? No, I'm talking about the storyline. So in the storyline, some things that preceded had effects after. So this, I never came to a conclusion that this is a last answer other than this non-duality. Non-duality put the end of all the looking for and the searching, put it to an end like that. I've never spent a second looking for what I am. I never. Yeah. So it's this is like you land there and then there's roots are taken and you root in. And you have now the ability to see things that are moving and you're not moving. So you're in a pause. And if you're moving and you see something else moving, it's different than if you're still and you see something else moving. If you're still and you see something else moving, you may get a flavor that it's not you, because you're actually, that's the nature of you, as Ramana said, be still. Yeah. And when you are having events that underlying you're in that inherent nature and there's awareness of that, you are still. And then when you see things, when you see all the movements, you come to different conclusions than when you're moving with it all. Yes, yeah. So be still is like the great directive that Ramana suggested when people asked whatever what to do, and he just said, be still. Now, to the head, it sounds like an order that it's never going to be able to do well. But in fact, he was just describing a condition you already are in, which is you're the being of you is still. It's still, yeah. Now it's in movement, but it was not made by movement. It's still, yeah, yeah. So this thing, I went to these talks, couldn't even understand the lady. It didn't matter because I felt something before I got anything. Before I got anything, I felt something in the room. Yeah, like an invitation, literally. Yeah. And I said yes to that invitation. And then it led me to yeah, hearing more, let's say. Yeah. Yeah. And because usually the action figure has a lot of mental doors open. You close one, another opens. But this really hermetically seals a lot of the bullshit. It does. And you can't move either way. You're seeing the emperor with no clothes, and it has a large effect And then hopefully it lasts so that no matter how many clothes the emperor wears, you know it has no clothes. That's the knowledge. That's the knowing before gaining knowledge. Yeah. You know now the emperor has no clothes, no matter how it looks or how much it's wearing or how heavy it is or how much bling is on there. It's the emperor has no clothes. So you are in a state, to me, of the last answer, which takes away the need for any other answers concerning this topic. And in my life, it was an important meaning. It had a lot of meaning because I had realized by doing drugs and alcohol that it was somewhat going to have to be an inside job because I'd become a master of changing how I felt, and it was just chairs on the deck of the Titanic, constantly changing how I felt, but nothing was really being changed. Yeah. Yeah. So it was, I came to these sort of conclusions, but I had no understanding of how to do it. I had to get, like I had to, before I became pizza crust, I had to be malleable. Yeah. Pounded out and stuff and stretched out all my old ideas and shit. And then things became available. So I listened and then I was brought to knowing. I did. I know I was listening once in India, and I knew I was never going to ask another question concerning this topic. Just knew it because I knew the futility, because I'm not that which is the questioner. Yeah. The answer is I'm not that which is the questioner. And then there's this beautiful thing just came in my head. If you ever go to see Tiruvannamalai in India, which there's no requirement to do so, but if you do go there, Ramana Maharshi Ashram has tons of these little books. Yeah. They were like 5 cents or something, or 1 rupee. And some of these little books have a lot of value in them because a lot of different people wrote down how they heard Ramana's message. And it wasn't Ramana's message. It's a message that went through Ramana. Yeah. And so one of these books I still have it. And I was looking at a question and answer that they had with him. And there was a question that's always was asked once again, which is a lot of people are very interested in, is this place predetermined or is there free will? Yeah. So, and they get slicker, is there an appearance in free will and predetermination? So, yeah, and he would say, once again, he fielded the question and he went, he did not even answer it directly, but he truly answered it. He says, listen, if there's a sense of individuality, he did not say if there's an individual, because there isn't one. Yeah, but there is a sense of individuality. The head is producing a sense of individuality. When there's the claiming of doing and you're presented as a doer, there's a sense of it. There's a feeling of it. Yes, it's a very familiar feeling that when there's doing and there's a noticing of it, you feel like the doer. Yes, yeah. So he says, you got to follow this. I feel really beautiful, very succinct and concise. So he bypasses the whole question, really, and he says, all right, if there's a sense of individuality, there will be a sense of free will. Yeah. So wait a minute. So what would be more important then in that question? The sense of individuality or the sense of free will? I would say the sense of individuality, because he put that first. And he says, if that's in place, there's going to be a sense of free will, which we all have as an action figure. That's why you go to a 3-week seminar on no free will, and then you go to Baskin Robbins and you were going in there thinking you'd want to get vanilla and you get mocha, so you blow the 3 weeks thing because the action figure is programmed. Yeah. Right. It's programmed. You do not need for the action figure to change. Yeah. To be what you are. You've got to just see you're not that sense of individuality. See, the sense of individuality is what the head does to take the place of making a self, which it can't. It cannot make a self. Yeah. So what it does is it produces a sense of a self. Yeah. And then we make the leap into there must be a self. So we're the one actually, not, yeah, it's us in a way that's giving the consent to the story. It cannot create a you. It just implies one. Yeah. And then we live a 80-year run believing we were that idea. So the sense, it's sort of like the sense of individuality proves that there's an individual, because the only thing that would emit a sense of individuality would be an individual. This is the mental logic. That's fucking insane. This is why people, when they notice doing, they just start looking for a doer. Yeah. And if it isn't them, it's someone else or God or something. Yeah. They can't sit still with just the idea of verbing. Yeah. They want a noun. The noun is what makes the logical sense to this whole event for the head. Yeah. Is that because whose life would it be anyway if you're not the doer of it? Yeah. Whose life would it be anyway? Yeah. So the doer, that sense of doership is what uses the free will to reinforce the sense of the individual. Yeah. Because how much of an individual would you be if you didn't choose certain things that other people don't choose? If yeah, this is why the individual and recovery is really a mistake, because we're driven by a common condition. Something has taken all of us over, and it's left its imprint over our imprint as being personal and individual. And that sense of free will gets blown out of the water in addiction because you can't stop using. Yeah. And people who believe in the idea of free will just look at you, well, just stop. Why don't you just stop? And you just realize, well, yeah, fuck it, I would if I could, but I seem like I can't. Yes. So this whole, the whole thing of addiction overrides these very cherished ideas that you have free will, and it will carry where you'll still be blaming yourself for doing shit that you were compelled to do, or you were used as transportation, or you were driven and you're not the driver. The stubbornness of it is amazing, but it's not you that's stubborn about it. It's the system itself. Yeah. It's just like when the system is identified as a body, it will feel like it would be impossible to escape the body. But that's the body protecting its position. Yeah. And then if you say, well, of course a body cannot believe it can get out of a body, because or it will maybe really want to get out of the body because it believes it's in a body. Yeah. Yeah. And then it will chant, I'm not a body, I'm not a body. But what you are is very clear, it's not a body. It doesn't chant it, it knows it. Yeah. There's a knowing you're not that. You don't have to chant it and try to know it. Yes. Yeah. So this beautiful move is they said, all right, if there's a sense of individuality with which there is, yeah, this system is it's like exuding that sense, almost like a perfume. You're the seer, the doer, the feeler, the taster, the toucher. And then because of that, the next thing is there's going to be a sense of free will. Yeah. Now, everyone was bypassing the sense of individuality and was trying to get into the free will idea, which is a very incredible move by the sense of individuality to take the spotlight off of it and get very serious and very interested in, is there predetermination of free will, with no one questioning the sense of individuality. Yes. So he goes, all right, if there's a sense of individuality, there'll be a sense of free will. And there is a sense of individuality, and there is a sense of free will. There's no reason why you've got to dispute it. It's not you. So he says, then he puts the clincher on it. He goes, you know, the only value these questions have is to ask who has the question. Yeah. All this stuff that you're trying to look forward to get somewhere, you need to turn it and see what's back there. Yeah. And when you see that it's not you, that's its value. Yeah. So the beautiful thing about asking a question is that it can be turned on the questioner. Yes. And you can ask it, who am I? Yeah. Now, everything here gets put to use, and in these meetings, questions are super important. And some of us are used to ask questions so that there can be that we can go places, and because you're really trying to, you're spinning a wheel of, let's say, metaphors and examples, yes? And for one person, the sheep and lion metaphor works, but not for some others. So then you keep spinning it, and then the large camera and the small camera works, or knocking on heaven's door works. So you have these ways because the wheels is just spinning in time and space. So, all right, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then whatever one at whatever moment gets in, that's the message. Yes, in a sense, because at that point, you've been captured by the hearing of the message, and it hasn't been neutered by the hearer of the message overriding it. Yeah, you get hit, and that aha, or that sense of like an unspoken yes or something, starts reverberating way past the point of that satsang hour. Yeah, yes. So now you're hearing different chimes. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. And I humbly believe, because this is how it's worked with me, that this is how it could work in a different maybe look with you. Yeah. I have not done anything other than show up for satsang. And I have gone to more Paul Hedderman satsangs than anybody here. Literally. I've never missed a Paul Hedderman satsang, even though I never attended any of them. But I've never missed it. It's amazing. So, and a push doesn't have to be hard. You may need the tiniest little push to produce a little momentum, and then the momentum takes care of the rest. Yes, yes. So, and I think satsang is a perfect place for what we think are frozen balls to start rolling again. And then you just follow the roll of what's going on. Yeah, and you see where it takes you, and you'll know the tree by its fruits. You will. Yeah, you'll be onto something because you're onto something. And then hopefully, I don't even say hopefully, inevitably, there's going to be a shift of interest. You're not going to do it, yeah, because you wanting to do that would be interest in self. There'll be a migration of interest that's been captured by the head and constantly brought back to the same fucking topics concerning you, will be freed. And that interest and attention will be freed, and it won't land where you think you wanted to have it land. It will land somewhere else, and it will open up some vistas in this life. Yeah, and you'll realize there's more windows and doors in this house that I've been in, many more. Yeah, and so on, and go on like this. And you can be most you can be at peace as most as an action figure can in a shake up little agitated place. There will be the ability to enjoy peace of mind. You'll have it. You won't. And those those uh those places can be instantaneous because they don't have any time and space, literally. But it may take you a little time, but it'll be less and less time and less skillful means, and you'll just be in where you thought you wanted to get back to when you thought you did something to split. Yeah, that whole story of, oh, I'm disconnected, I got to get connected again, will be lost interest in. And there'll be just an overall sense you're completely connected, no matter what your head says you are or not. Yes, in a lot of levels. And then the action figure can be wild, and then you have to chill the action figure out. Like the truck overheats, I pull over, but I'm not the truck overheating. Yeah, but the truck will overheat. I'm getting overwhelmed now as I get older. The head can't do that many things at once. Yeah, it gets overwhelmed. Like, wait a minute, I'm down to juggling only 2 balls. That's the only thing I do. If you throw another ball in, I'm a little whoa. But none of that. gets anywhere near me, really. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and here we are, lovely day. Nothing's really happened, truly. The only constancy is the awareness. Yeah. Yeah. You're aware during night. Your brain isn't conscious, but you are. Yeah. Awareness is always here. That's why it's hard to notice, because it doesn't leave. Yeah. A lot of people know the presence of things by their temporary absence. Yeah. So I really know how I feel about someone when they leave, let's say. Yeah. But in this case, you can't have that with awareness, because it doesn't go anywhere. It's just a buzz that it never started and never went. Just bzz, yes, like that. Yeah. Wherever you jump in or seemingly jump out, when you go back in, it's the same. It's sort of like, have you noticed when you go into a train of thoughts and you think it took you so far away? As soon as you get off the train, you're right in the station. It's not like, because you never left the station. You didn't. You believe the train was taking you somewhere, but it doesn't even take a nanosecond to get back to the station, because you get dropped off right where you were the whole time. It's amazing. So all the huffing and puffing and, oh, you're 70 miles away from connection or whatever. It's just, as soon as it regroups or whatever, it's the whole story is bogus. Yeah. You've never left the station. The trains go, but you don't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, oh, yeah. So I want, the idea of the parables of non-duality. I think they need a companion of an understanding of how the mental system's going to react to the message of non-duality, because it's going to react. Yeah. And sometimes it reacts very fast in time, and then suddenly you have that moment of being the hand and not the glove, and now you find yourself in the glove, and immediately you fall into being the glove. A hand can be a hand, and only a hand in a glove. Yes. The glove doesn't have the ability to black out the hand. It's just something it's wearing or is covering it. Yes. So when the hand realizes it's not a glove, it still may recognize it's in the glove. Yeah. It's not like it just runs away from the glove and there's no more glove. No, you live as a glove, but you're not of a glove. Yes. And that knowledge is quite valuable, because you're going to be surprised when you believed a lot of the mechanical activities of the program were you, and you have a huge awakening, and they don't seem to change at all, because first of all, they're not you. Yeah, you're in a system, or you're in a machine, and that machine is going to run like the machine. A spiritual awakening doesn't wake up that machine. Yeah, it wakes up spirit. Yeah, in a sense. And what does it wake the spirit up to? The machine. And now, instead of constantly, because it's moving and buzzing and you just assume, and the sense of individuality is permeating, and you just assume you must be an individual, you're not going with that anymore. Though the head keeps assuming it, you've seen something. Yeah. Yes. Yes. You have not convinced the head to stop assuming that, because it's mechanical. That's what it does. You've realized it's not you. And how much do I want to change a machine that's no, a toaster can't make a smoothie. So if I keep trying to pour fucking shit, mango and shit in it, the toaster, it's not the toaster's fault, it's my ignorance about the difference between a toaster and something. Yeah. So now that ignorance gets dispelled, and now that all that stuff that would infer, all those senses that would infer of reality, it doesn't, because you're seeing it from reality. Yeah. And you have never left reality. Yeah, all this dancing and shenanigans, just like you forgot yesterday, you're gonna forget the whole thing, like it never happened. There's not going to be any remnant of this event because nothing actually ever happened. Yeah. Yeah. It's just like we used a way of describing it in, let's say you're asleep and you have an epic dream, like 300 years or something. You started in Rome, in Greece, and then you went to Rome and then like this. Yeah. And then next night you have a dream of taking a sip of a Slurpee, 5 seconds. Yeah. How long did it take to wake up from both dreams? Yeah, because there's no time whatsoever. Yeah. The feeling of being in a 300 epic, that's all it was a feeling. Yeah, you doesn't, oh, if it's a 300-year epic, it's 3 months of waking up. No, you wake up just like you did with the 5-second dream. Yeah, because you wake up out of the dream, and the dream has an essential quality, which is time. We're just not waking up from it in this wake dream, but we wake up from it every morning. We wake up from the night dream. All the time that was happening in the night dream is completely negated by you waking up in the morning. It's a built-in part of the system. But what happens now to the awake dreaming, there's no morning. There's another form of awakening. And one of them is this, the simple message of, instead of constantly living under the illusion that where you're looking from, there's a solid thing there, you see that, and you see that it's a program, and you're not. It's not like I'm a better program. No, you're not a program, period. I don't know what you fucking are. I don't know how you could ever know, because it's unknowable, but it's not unbeable. We're in the state of being it all the time, but we're not in a state of knowing it because it's unknowable. It's incomprehensible. You can't understand it and shit like that. But you can understand other stuff. You can understand what you're not. Yeah. And if you understand what you're not, all of the streaks of personalness will just fucking, they'll turn white. Yeah. You'll see right through them. Yes, you'll see it, like almost as if the astronaut woke up and realized he's been living a life of a spacesuit, really. And then yet you don't take the spacesuit off. It's necessary in that atmosphere, but she realizes, I'm not the spacesuit. And it's going to affect how it travels through the life of the spacesuit, obviously. Yes. Just as believing you're the spacesuit affects how you travel through the life of a spacesuit. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. I think I'm going to do a new setting for the satsang. We're going to do that. Remember that guy, I'm a good neighbor? We're going to do some of those soon. The guy the kids would come over, and Mr. Rogers. We'll do some Mr. Rogers satsang. That's a little weird, though. You could always see he was right on a very thin line. He could have gone into a weird situation. I don't want to assume he did or not, but it was a little, a little bit. There was some alerts there, here and there. But wait, all right. So thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot for sitting here and coming here. There's a bigger thing going on than you and I here. Yes, and when the faith that you represent gets a smell of it, yeah, it's gonna break through a lot of things in you. It will. There's such an assurance in satsang. Like it says in the Bible, the Son of Man has no place to rest its head, but satsang is a nice place to rest the head. It is. All right. So any questions? Yeah. I can outweigh all of you for sure. Don't worry. Let's have a loving gaze contest. Yes, hold on. Let me get my loving gaze out. Mm.
You were talking about the dreaming and waking up to the dream. It's almost like that throughout the day where there's thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Pop up and want to grab a hold of you. And then you're watching it and it's
Yeah, you can wake up a lot.
wake up.
Yes.
It's like a constant waking up set up.
Well, because here is duality.
Yeah.
So there's a sense of awakeness and being asleep, but the underlying condition is awakeness.
Yes.
So you and I can believe we're not awake, and it happens all day. Certain moments trigger a belief that that means I'm not awake. If I had that thought or I did that thing. I mean, the belief system, the lights go on, and then you feel, you feel the thing of time and everything. Yes. And then suddenly you snap out of it. Yeah. So in the duality, you go through this, you go in, you feel like really at peace and then agitated, but you're neither of that. Yes. Yes. That's just the activity here.
Yes.
Because the activity goes one way and another way, but the stillness is the supreme fact. Yeah. Yeah. So during you know the awakeness, and then during the day the system goes awake and then unawake, awake and unawake. But if that's all you're reacting to, then you're going to try to stabilize the awakeness that you believe, and then minimize the unawakeness, which is is much bigger than what you think. Yeah.
That is the attachment to it all.
Well, that's the point. So this is hey, when it get older, you're gonna forget shit. Yeah. I mean, seriously, the two refrains I hear the most in this house is where is my phone and where are the keys? That's it. Yeah. And then you think you're unique and other people come, and every time they leave here, they forget their fucking phone or something, and we gotta go, let's look, everyone look, and then, all right, because they have to come back. So it's not like it's unique. We're out to lunch a lot of times. The action figure goes in and out of what you would call alertness, but that's not you. See? So you can be completely awake and be nodding off. Yeah. Yes. 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 And this is where you miss the forest from the trees. So you're trying to get the trees lined up and have all the awake trees and none of the unawake trees, but you're missing the whole forest. Where what happens is when you see the forest, you travel lighter through the trees, which is disconnected, connected, awake, unawake. Yeah. It doesn't mean they stop, but you travel lighter through them, and there's less importance to them. Yeah. I do not believe an action that I do today is going to disqualify me from the inherent condition. I just don't. Do I do crazy shit? No. I don't know why. I don't choose not to do it. I think I learned, fuck. Yeah. I do have a scale I never had, which is payoff cost. And if the head has a good idea and it's a big, the payoff's going to be minimal and the cost, I just say, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, I like gazelles, but I don't ride them anymore. But I watch lovely gazelles, but I don't ride them because I don't want to have to get a barn with the gazelle, and it's like so. I mean, there's a certain avoidance of a lot of shit because it's going to demand stuff. Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
Like I did it humbly in a weird way with the recovery meeting. I just decided, hey, there's this chapter that gets underappreciated in the book called uh, We Agnostics or something. And then, of course, I was, and someone said, well, we'll go through the We Agnostics. Said, yeah. And then I swayed right away from that. But there was other people holding me to it now in the Zoom. But the next day I was, oh, fuck the We Agnostics. But they kept me on it. And now, yeah, that's why if I was a professor, school would be over the second day. The semester would be over. It would be just homeschooling. I just fucking lose interest, and yeah, it's hard to hold yeah. So but I'm quite interested in the minutiae of every day.
Yes.
I am.
That's what
Really.
happens, doesn't it?
Yes. The small things play a large part.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything is just a lot of small things every day. And then you're having contact, there's contact with them, and you really get the contact. And yet it gets erased like an etch-a-sketch, and then you're empty because that's the nature, and then it gets filled up, and then you're empty. And yeah.
Etch-a-sketch is a great.
Yeah, you don't even do it. The world etch-a-sketch, it shakes it up, and then new lines go and stuff like that. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. And this to me is an incredible, if people believe they have to do maintenance to maintain a condition, if you are already in that condition, the maintenance would look like no thought or effort on your part.
Yeah.
Because you're already, it's self-maintaining in a way. Yeah. Yeah. So it would be the easiest maintenance because it would demand no thought or effort on your part. Yeah. So what do you do as you get older? Projects. Painting something that didn't need a paint job. Shit like that. Yeah. And there's so much glory, and yet it's all forgotten. Isn't that beautiful, really? Yeah. It's, orchids are incredible. Orchids are a trippy thing because they're beautiful flowers. They take a while, and usually they don't bloom again. People who bought orchids, they probably know. Yeah. And it seems like it's for the show, but the show lasts for a couple months. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's just beautiful. And then what was I saying? Well, it's just like every day in a way. Yeah, just like every day. Yeah. To put something in a memory, obviously it neuters it in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, makes now old.
Makes now old, yes. Well, then you see only the past.
Yes.
And that's the system's well, that's what it does. If you want a good description of the system, the Course in Miracles is very good. Yeah, because it describes that we see only the past, not us, but the system. And because of that, then everything that we see, we give meaning to because it's empty. It's empty. Yeah. So we're seeing the past. And if you come out of recovery, it really hits a chord because you're presented when you enter recovery, the threat of resentment. resentment was seen through the eyes of the people who wrote the big book of AA as the main killer of alcoholics. And what is a resentment? It's a re-feeling.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that there was a real feeling that you're re-feeling.
Yeah.
It's made up.
Yeah.
And there's a re-feeling it. And therefore, that's the reason why it's based on it. You see only the past. So when something happens now, it triggers memory of that topic. And you get lost the system gets lost in the memory of it.
Yeah.
So basically, they came to the conclusion we see only the past. And the beautiful message with this is you're not part of that we that sees only the past.
Yeah.
Yes? The system that you're not sees only the past.
Yeah.
Yeah? You're going to find out how you see and everything. It's not going to be described to you. Yeah? You're going to live a description. It's going to become like super homespun because it's going to be like very, very intimate. Yeah. Yeah. Very intimate because you're so wrong.
It's so true.
Looking through the lens of the spacesuit, you're so wrong. Yeah, but this is the most gentlest way to arrive at that conclusion. It is.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful way because before you arrive at that conclusion, it tells you you're not that.
Yes.
So that which is so wrong, you're not, which is great. Because of course, if you think it's you don't want to know that it's so wrong. You don't.
Right.
The system is trying to survive. That would be a death blow to it.
Yeah.
So it's going to deny and obfuscate and all that shit. But if it's not about you, it's nice to know it's failed.
Yes.
It is. It's very nice and very rewarding to come to the conclusion that it's a failed system when you're not the system.
Yeah.
You don't have any dog in that hunt anymore to
No.
keep it going. You don't. Yeah, it's great. Very good. But it's not wrong maliciously. It's just nearsighted. It's myopic.
Yes.
So it has that thing of being a hammer and seeing everything as a nail.
Yeah.
And because it sees only the past, it also has confirmation bias while scanning evidence. So it's already has a conclusion it wants the evidence to fit. It doesn't come to a conclusion through the evidence.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. It's just so, I mean, its sore thumbs stick out a lot. You're usually trying to put them in your own pockets to keep them, but
Yeah.
when it's not you, you can be really fearless and thorough about checking it out. You can finally tell the truth about you because you're not that you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. If there's no questions, I think we'll end soon. Yeah, we have some lovely people here, and we're gonna break bread, I think. Yes. And yeah. I had an idea to eat outside, but I think it's going to be thwarted by cold. Because everything is concerning the body, isn't it? Yes. Yes. Is it too cold for your spirit? No.
No.
But the spirit doesn't need a parka,
No.
but you do. Oh yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Nice. The mural is performing. Yeah. The mural of life is performing a beautiful street lit sky. Yeah, very nice. All right. Well, no questions. Fantastic. Thank you for your attendance. It'll be marked on your papers. Yeah, and yeah, we're gonna have the finals soon. Yes, we're gonna test everybody. Kathleen. Kathleen has learned to learn from not knowing. Very good. It's a good way. Jack P. Nice to see you, Jack. Yes. David, as always, soaking it up, brother. Yes, it's very nice. William Stamps. I hope the loudness of the Body conditions has been muted a little. Yes? Yes. Stephen Mack. On having never left. Nick, my brother in arms. Chris Gilmore. Nice to see you, Chris. I'm happy you got another guard for that little door that was there. Yeah. Alan Olson. He's now napping in the he's in the lap of peace and serenity. Fantastic. Dennis. He's on his way to peace and serenity. Diona. Yes. Sometimes it's best to take it lying down, Diona. Yeah. Keep up with the strategy. Annette in New York. Yes, Annette. Yes. You know what'll happen, Annette? I don't know what'll happen. But this is how I'm gonna picture it. You're gonna be in an Airbnb, and then you're gonna not do anything to fuck anything up, and you're gonna move to another place, and you're not gonna have any holes in the walls with some peep fucking whatever recording shit. And you'll just you'll have you can really will be able to rest in that nest. Yes. And it's just a matter of time. Yeah. Yeah. Marl, the same thing, Marl. Yeah. Yes. Put the foot out, something will appear. Yeah. It just does. It's the way to go. And if someone once asked me, they said, well, you know, I have trouble trusting because I've been taken advantage of. I'd rather get taken advantage of a few times and keep trusting than not trust. Yes, just really. Yeah, yeah. So, Algirdas. I'm going to try it that way. Algirdas. Kerry, nice to see you, my friend. There she is. I got somebody wants something from me. I can't get out of there. Susan Harris. I don't know where she is. She may be in Washington, D.C. No, she here, Cape Cod. Yeah.
Right here, actually, I'm out at the ocean right now
Oh, nice.
in Bodega. Yeah.
Oh, Bodega. Yeah, it was beautiful. Yes. Yeah, we were in Tomales Bay today. Quite nice.
Beautiful.
Yes, Ernie. See, look at Ernie, that little bit of willingness. Yeah. Just hit your cart to that. Yeah. Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray. Oh. Travis Havenmeyer. Nice to see you, Travis. Yeah. Did you get a haircut, bro? Yeah, yeah, you're looking clean. I just going preppy, prep. I am too. I've gone back. Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna try to join a volunteer police corps. Yeah. Walk around the streets. We have this thing. You ever have a thing called Nextdoor? Something on Facebook or something? And if you live in an area, all these people in the area, and it's nice because they put out stuff to sell or whatever, but they're incredible. They'll have these things where, has anyone else seen that suspicious person walking around the neighborhood? And then one of the comments says, you're the only suspicious person.
Lots of drama in the next.
It's so funny. It's so funny. I get these things every day. Someone's been through my garbage can. All right. Well, nice to see everyone. I think I got everybody. If I didn't, I can't get to the second page. It always blocks me. Kathleen, whoever ran the boat today, it was seamless. I didn't even know anyone was there. Holding the all right, thank you guys. We'll be around tomorrow, recovery, and then we're gonna have to announce we'll be back east. I leave on the 17th. We're gonna be in New York City I think it's gonna be the 20 on a Tuesday, and in Hamilton, New Jersey, and Dover, New Jersey. It's all on the website. It would be great to run into some of you. I'd like to see what you wear below the belt, what's happening. So, yeah. Thank you. See you soon. I'll
Thank
see you
Paul.
tomorrow.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. Beautiful,
Kathleen.
beautiful.